We okay?
I'm worried about these fabric chairs, I'm not going to lie, because I am a sweaty lady right now.
That's okay. You don't have to sit in it later.
Hello!
That's it.
That's the intro. Goodbye, everybody.
How's your week?
Well, before we go into that, we just want to... We're in a new room. We're in a specifically made room for podcasting.
We found a little studio
Yeah.
that we could use,
Yeah.
and I hate having lights in my office.
That's fair.
So here we are.
Yeah.
This is an experiment. Could be terrible.
It could be, but you know what? We like to try things.
Yeah.
And also, the mood lighting, it really creates a lot of shadows on our
Let's
faces.
recognize. Anyways, it's probably fine.
It has been like 2.5 weeks since we've been able to podcast.
What did I say earlier? 2.5 weeks. I said a joke.
Yeah, you did. You said 2.5 weeks, an earthquake, and a hurricane.
And a hurricane later. Yeah.
And I didn't know about the earthquake.
Yeah. So Jonathan and I, part of the reason why it's been 2 weeks is we were in California. We literally booked tickets because we were like, we need a vacation. We need to go.
Yeah, they did. They work really hard.
Jonathan's been doing a million shows, so he gets home at like midnight every day and then has to get up for work by 9.
Relatable.
Yeah. And then I have been tired. So
I'm trying not to peek the microphone.
It's fine. It's fine. He turned it down. I can see you're fine. So we were like, let's get away. Let's take a trip. We booked a trip to California with no agenda. In retrospect, we should have
Check the weather.
checked the weather. Because literally not an hour after we had booked everything, the hotel, car, flight.
Yeah.
Jonathan's dad called us and was like, there's a hurricane in LA. And we're like, oh, when is it hitting? Literally the day you get there.
And you guys still went.
And, well, what are we going to do? We booked everything. It was like, I don't know.
Did they not refund?
I don't know. And I feel like with airlines, it's always a mess anyways, and I don't want to deal with it. So we were like, whatever. We're getting there right before it hits, so we shouldn't have any problems with the flight. And then we'll just, like, see what happens.
Sure.
So we literally left on Sunday. Hurricane hit that night.
And you saw what happened.
And while we were there, so hurricane is happening. There's, like, tons of rain. It wasn't as windy as I thought.
Oh, really?
Which is weird, where we were. We were in, like, more Anaheim area. Orange County.
The best place in California, in my personal opinion.
The OC.
Because Disney.
Because Disney. So we decided to go, well, like, let's go to downtown Disney in the rain. That'll be fun. It was horrible. Pouring rain, torrential rain, flooding everywhere.
Ponchos everywhere.
Ponchos everywhere. On us? No, absolutely not. I had, like, a coat on, soaked through the coat, like a rain jacket on both of us, soaked through our rain jackets. And while we were in downtown Disney, earthquake.
What? You were there? You were there? Why are you laughing? Your safety was in question.
5.1?
Holy balls.
Or 5.2, I don't know. 5 point something earthquake. So not a small earthquake, not a large earthquake, I will say. But not just like a nothing earthquake. Happened while we were in downtown Disney.
Did you feel
So we survived a little bit. There was like a little rock. Yeah. This is like kind of fun. So literally we survived a hurricane and an earthquake in Disneyland. That's what happened to us. Isn't that crazy?
Okay, growing up in science classes, they would always talk about how if lots of things, like if the earth, if Jesus were coming again, let's be honest. We never talked about religion in school, but
Jesus.
basically, Jesus Christ. Was that disrespectful?
I don't know. To be honest, no idea.
Anyways, they would talk about how if things like that happen, California would just drop off.
Yeah, it would like
It would
break.
drop off
There's like evidence that if there's a big enough earthquake, it'll like literally break California off
And then
from the
sink.
United States.
It would sink, right?
Something like that. I don't know. Something would
Does
happen.
anybody know how
Like,
far into the
detaches.
Earth you need? Like, if you're like in like the most Midwest or like middle of the United States area, how far do you have to drill before you hit water? Because
Oh, drill like
Yeah.
into the ground?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I assume it mostly
we're
depends.
floating, right?
Well, everything is we're floating on magma. Tectonic plates are on magma.
Right. So
But, like,
it would never mind. We
There's
know
like a
that.
water
We know
table
the answer to
everywhere, but
that.
like the water table would be different here in Utah. Because in Utah, it would probably be you'd have to drill more than like in the Midwest because we're like
we're higher up.
yeah, I assume, or maybe less because the mountains have a lot of runoff. I don't know how it works. I'm gonna be
Science.
honest with you. I did not do science.
The only thing I remember from science, quite honestly, is that little bit, kind of, whatever. Tectonic plates,
Yeah.
earthquakes, and genes.
Genes
Like the genes is
Yeah.
where you get like widow's peaks and
Oh, yeah.
widow's peaks and like your eye color and all those
like the
things.
chance of getting whatever
Yeah.
eye color and rolling.
But
the
don't
dice
ask me
game.
about it. Truly,
Yeah,
I just
don't
remember learning
specifics. No, we don't know
Yeah,
her.
yeah, that's
Uh,
not something we can give.
Which I think is funny. I think it is very funny that like in science class they're like, this will help the kids remember, and then you play like a dice game.
Probably move this. I keep hitting the damn microphone. Sorry. After a brief moment.
Don't throw a pillow. Who knows if that's right now? Anyways,
do we want
no.
to? Okay.
What was I saying?
Something about science and how don't ask us specifics.
It's like they were like, this will help the kids remember. You play a dice game.
Oh, sure.
You're like, I don't remember what the we were talking about, but I do remember the dice game.
Isn't that so sad?
Yeah, super sad.
Completely honest.
Education failed.
Okay, but like that's a real thing. Okay.
What was
Popcorn on my wrist.
Tana was chomping popcorn before.
I was. We're not in any way endorsed by that's wet from my mouth on it, but
Ew.
what?
Did you just like stuff your face into the bag?
Yeah.
Yeah, fun. It's
This
boom
was
chicka
actually
pop
very
for people
good.
that are listening and not watching.
Sorry. Yeah. Boom chicka pop. Boom chicka pop.
The sweet and salty kettle corn.
Yeah. I've never had this before, and it just
I
really
think it's
did my
made from
taste buds wonders.
chickpeas.
What?
I don't think that's true.
Oh.
Anyways, how was your week?
My week. Well, I guess 2 weeks, the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I turned 33, and now I'm ancient even more. So
Happy birthday. We went to
that was
a
good.
dinner.
What was that called?
The Dodo?
The Dodo in Salt Lake City.
Yeah.
It was very yummy. I got this dish. It was
Like
like a cold pasta.
it was like an Asian dish.
Perfecto.
It was Asian cold noodles.
It was so good. Yeah, and they had a peanut sauce. I was living for it. And then I ate my leftovers. Thank you, Sarah, for reminding me that I had leftovers that next day because I got home from work and it was like 8:30, 9 o'clock, and I was like, gosh, I'm hungry. I should order food. And she's like, Tana, there are leftovers in the fridge. Please eat them. And I was like,
Whoa.
no, that was Monday night because we went out on Sunday.
Yeah.
It was a Monday. Anyway, but then I reheated it and it was like a whole new meal.
Oh, because it's cold versus hot.
Amazing. Yes, it was so good. And I
Ooh.
was like, oh, we need to do this more. Like eat cold pasta and then like you want a little spicing it up, a little different mouthfeel, a little bit different sensation. Heat that shiz up. It was so good. Anyway,
Good.
so yeah, I turned 33 and I got to celebrate it with you on my actual day.
Mm-hmm.
And we went and got couples massages. I got naked completely.
I didn't.
He didn't.
I'm afraid. I've even we've done couples massages like Jonathan and I can't.
Really?
I don't know what it is. There's just I understand that the masseuse probably doesn't care at this point because they've seen a lot of butts, but I'm like,
Well, they don't
I
look
can't
at
do
your
it.
tuchus.
I mean, you're gonna see a little something.
Yeah, you're gonna
if you're
see a
doing a little,
Boop, boop. You're right.
you're gonna see something.
That sheet does go upwards or
Yeah.
over.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't do it.
That's fair. But I got naked and I was like, I'm taking my clothes off. And he was like, okay, I'll turn around. And I crouched down and was like, I'm getting on the bed. Don't look. And it was the best massage I think I've ever had.
It was really
She
nice.
did cupping.
She didn't do that for me.
And I
Rude.
died. It was so the parts where she left the cups to sit and like really work were where my body really needed it, which was, do you want to come in?
Oh.
No?
No.
Okay. It's just Jonathan, our amazing producer, is eating some snackums. Just checking on us. But anyway, she left the cups by my shoulder blades because that's where my shoulders are where I carry most of my stress.
Yeah.
But when she was going down my spine.
With the cups? Like
with
as
the
they
cups,
were sucking?
Yeah. It got to about the middle of my back, just a little bit lower, and it felt like my muscles finally, for the first time in years, were able to go like this.
Oh.
And it was a sensation that I wish I could repeat. Like I'm genuinely considering learning how to do cupping on just for myself.
Huh.
Because I don't know if it probably wouldn't be the same feeling, but that release of pain and tension just in that area was
That good.
insane. It was absolutely insane.
She didn't do that for me. She gave me like hot stones, and that was nice, but not cupping. Didn't do that.
Next time we go, we should
Specifically do that.
yes, ask for the cupping.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry they didn't do that for you. I asked for it.
Maybe it was just it was like, because they did a few extra things for your birthday, which was nice. They did like a wax treatment on our feet.
Yeah, they did. That one I did request because I was like, my feet. So I don't know if people care much about this, but like your feet are a map of your body.
I've
So
heard
when you
that.
work
I've heard
on it,
that
you can
like
actually feel the release in like your head.
I really want to know like how, because like a lot of things people say and then later it's not true.
Yeah.
I want to know how true that is.
Yeah.
Because I remember even like growing up, do you remember like it was an as seen on TV commercial thing where they had like these pads that you stick to your feet and it's supposed to draw out all the toxins?
I do.
I'm like, that's got to be fake.
But
like,
I'm sure it is.
But I'm interested to see like, because I've seen like physical therapists will show maps of the feet and they're like, this is connected to your spine, this is connected to your butt, this is connected to your head, like things like that. And I really want to know how true that is.
Well, I at least feel wise, I think that's true. Because man, oh man, it's my favorite when they work on my hands and my feet.
Yeah. It does feel really
I love
good.
it so much. It's so good. But yeah, so we went and did the massage. I thought it was going to be one of those places where you like get in a robe and they give you like cucumber slices and you sit there and you're like,
I mean, we didn't do a full spa treatment, so maybe
we should do that. We should save up for that. I want to experience that. I feel like that
would be fun.
would be so fun.
Because the place that me and Jonathan went, you had the option of going and getting in a robe and.
Did you?
No.
Oh.
It was
That
just
sounds
it
amazing.
just felt weird to be like for 2 minutes while we get a massage and then get back in your regular clothes. You know
Fair.
what I mean?
That's fair.
If you're gonna like undress anyways.
Yeah.
In the room.
If you're not going to do like
A full
seaweed
day,
wrap
yeah.
yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But yeah, so we went to there, and you should go. Anybody, if you're in Utah, it's Mountainside Spa. It's literally at the base of the mountain.
They were good.
Gorgeous view.
Yeah.
Absolutely gorgeous driving up there. And then afterwards, we were relatively close to a Cheesecake Factory, which is, if I'm completely honest, it's my favorite place to go. Like, okay, basic white girl stuff.
Everyone
but like, I love it.
is gonna be so mad.
Well, we were too far away from Oteo's, which is my second favorite place to go.
Oteo's is really good. It's a
I
local
love
taco
it.
place. But
It's like Asian
specialty.
fusion tacos. It's
Yeah,
so
super good.
So good. Ugh, now I want it. But they're closed on Sunday and Mondays.
Yeah, they are.
We should go there.
Yeah, I love
We should go there
Oteo's.
soon.
Soon.
Soon. But yeah, so we went and we got Cheesecake Factory. And then I dropped Jace back off. And then I went to my show rehearsal. And it was so nice. Like, I didn't tell anybody it was my birthday. But my double had seen on my social media because I had posted videos of us just piddle farting around. And she was like, "It's your birthday." And so she actually told the director, Brooklyn, that I'd mentioned in a couple episodes ago. And she wasn't performing in that run. It was me. And so Brooklyn was like, hey, take my money, go get her a cake.
Take
So
my
my
money.
double, I just hit the cord, sorry.
That's okay.
My double went to Costco and got me a birthday cake.
Aw.
It was so nice. I was like, my goodness. I don't know if you feel this way. And maybe this is, I would love to hear other people's comments, but do you feel uncomfortable planning your birthday?
I do.
We talked about this a couple times ago.
Because for my birthday, I just invited my family over and we made pizzas for them.
Mm-hmm.
I feel uncomfortable planning like a big party because I think that feels weird. But I think at this point in my life, I'm like, my birthday's not for me anymore.
True.
I think that's my biggest mentality now.
I remember you saying
So like
that.
I'm old. Like people aren't gonna throw me like a big bash or a surprise party. So like the only person that's gonna do that is myself. And I do feel uncomfortable planning my own thing. So I'm just like, I'll just do like a little gathering for my family.
Sometimes I really wish that somebody would plan me a surprise party
I know, me
or just
too.
something. Sarah did it. My roommate Sarah did it for me. I think the last time she did it for me was like 2017
Mm-hmm.
or 2018. And then the rest of the time I did it. And I'm like, I feel so weird.
Yeah.
But it was, and because I work so much and don't get a break, that was a much needed day of going to get a massage and just piddle farting around.
It was, and stuff like that doesn't feel like you're planning a bash. It's just like
Yeah.
celebrating your birthday.
Yeah, it was really
Do it
nice.
like doing some self-care. And I think that's, I think if there's anything like any good way to do it, that's the way.
Yeah.
As opposed to like throwing yourself a big party.
I just realized.
No offense, I guess. Like if people want to do that,
Yeah,
you're welcome
you
to
do
do
it.
stuff
If
for
you-
yourself.
You totally should do it. I think there's, like, go for it. But for me personally, I feel a little bit egotistical when I
Yeah,
do stuff
me
like that.
too.
The only time I was, like, really proud of it was my 30th when I did the Disney theme
That was
party.
fun.
Nobody could come unless they were in a Disney costume
Or like Disney bounded.
or Disney
is
bounded.
happening with us?
And everybody came in costumes.
Yeah.
It was
fun.
amazing. And I painted myself purple and I was Ursula.
It was crazy. That outfit was wild.
It was amazing. That whole thing was crazy too because I had asked a friend to make me the ball gown version of Ursula, the like really pretty purple like bottom dress that looks like purple seaweed.
Yeah.
And they never ended up doing it. And then they made the corset for her, but I didn't have bottoms. So I went to my favorite theater in the whole wide world, and I would do anything for them, is the Hale Orem.
Mm-hmm.
And they were so nice. And for my birthday, they let me use the Ursula costume. And I
That's so
lucked
nice.
out. It fit me perfectly. It was
Oh my
amazing.
gosh.
Love that. But yeah, so then after my birthday, I just worked and worked and worked a lot. And then this last week was tech week, but it was also, so the way that this theater works is that they don't have a normal like tech week and then preview week for people. They just, because it's a for-profit theater,
Mm-hmm.
they cannot take breaks. So they close a show that on the Saturday before,
Uh-huh.
and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday is tech.
Oh, so it's like, so at that theater consistently, no matter what, there's a show Thursday, Friday, Saturday.
Yep.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Just for tech week. The rest of the time, it's open Monday through Saturdays.
Wild.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Excuse me.
Yeah, that makes sense actually.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Now I'm thinking about the shows there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like towards the end of the run, it's so much more crisp.
Yeah.
Every time I go to that theater.
But the audience loves it. They love seeing
yeah.
that. It's such a cool experience as a performer because like they
fully
it
embraced
break.
that vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They love it when you break character or you go off script. Like they love that stuff.
Yeah.
Because then they're like,
Yeah.
but yeah. So tech week, Monday we introduced light and sound. And then Tuesday we introduced choreography. We introduced that a
blocking.
while ago. We introduced costumes. Yeah.
That's crazy too. For people that don't know, usually theaters have like a full tech week is a week, and it goes from like
Mondays to
5
Saturdays.
5 p.m. to like midnight.
Yeah.
Like so long.
Yep.
And it because you're fine tuning every little detail. But yeah, this theater. Can we say it or no? Does this feel like slander or is it just how it is?
What are you gonna say? It'll depend.
I'm just gonna at this theater, like everything is silly and goofy, so nothing's refined.
Yeah, but they're intense about it. Like they want.
Yeah.
They want you to know your script. They want you to know that stuff, right? So that you can then deviate from it. But still keep the flow of the show and stuff. Like they really do want to have good pacing and all of that stuff, but
Yeah.
they love it when you can play too. But you have to learn your material before you do that. And that's at any theater.
Sure.
Like I mean, if you're on Broadway, they probably don't allow you to deviate from the script.
Well, I think there's a certain point when there's like legalities involved with like.
But because this is a parody theater,
and they write all their own scripts.
Yeah, they're like you can play.
Yeah.
So.
That's funny.
I love it. I love the Desert Star, and they treat you so beautifully. In fact, the Hale, Orem, and the Desert Star Theater have been so incredible to work for. Like I support them. But yeah, and then that Wednesday, so that Monday and Tuesday we introduced all the tech elements and costumes, and then Wednesday we had preview nights. So I performed at the 6:00, and then my double did the 8:30 show.
Amazing. That's
and then we opened
3 shows a day is crazy too.
This theater does 4 shows a day on Saturdays. Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah, I've never done 4, but I have done 3. And because my schedule is so crazy with me going to Hawaii in a couple weeks, I was supposed to go to China to see my best friend Tirza, but China doesn't allow people to get visas right now.
Yeah,
well, they
really
do,
hard.
but they've actually made it very,
whole
very
process.
hard to actually do it. So my roommate Sarah and I are going to go to Hawaii, which I'm looking forward to just being lazy. What kind of vacationer are you? Are you a planner? I'm not a planner. Like, there are things I want to do, but I'm like, I would rather relax.
Here's the issue. Because I think if people plan things really well, there is like beach time. There's like, you know what I mean? There's like relaxation time. The problem with me is that I am not a planner, but I'm super stoked to attend a planned vacation. Mm-hmm. So
someone else plans for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm along for the ride. That's fair.
That's what I like, I think. Because I like not being bored, but having relaxation time.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, unless it's Disney, I'm just like, let's go. And then I have a list of things that I want to do, but I don't like plan out every single day.
That's interesting. I feel like with theme parks specifically, I'm like that one specifically, because we're going to a place and we're going to be there all day, I'm like, I don't want to plan that at all. Because then you're just like going with the flow of like wait times. Like you're looking at the app and you're like, oh, this is only 5 minutes. Let's go there.
Yeah. That's how I'm that way. That's how I like to do it, just because I know Disneyland like the back of my hand, and I just love being there, and I'm happy to go wherever. But I've been to Disney with people who really like to plan things out to make sure that they hit everything. I'm also happy to do that.
Yeah.
But on my birthday, well, I went on my birthday last year, but in April when I went with John, we just went with the flow. Like the only thing we both wanted to do was to see Goofy because I Disney bound as him.
Yeah.
And that was it. And the rest of the time it was just
whatever.
When we get there, we get there. We have 17 hours in the park.
That's what I really like doing, because we went with Jonathan's whole family.
Yeah.
And so there's like 20 people that you're trying to like work with.
Whoa. Did you guys separate it all?
No.
You went every single place. Like potty breaks together. Wow.
No offense. Don't recommend it.
Sure.
It's intense because then you're mixing people that are planners and that are not planners. And that's the number one no-no. Because then you're like, well, what are we doing? Like there's people that are like, then what are we doing? And we're like,
going with the flow.
Let's look at the wait times. I don't know. Like, and so people get really intense about it. Not my favorite thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a large group.
It is a lot of people.
I'm really impressed, actually, that you guys didn't separate at all.
Yeah.
Except for probably when you were going
we
to
were
your
there.
rooms.
You know, okay, so actually, I will say, we had 5-day tickets, which also is too long.
Okay, that's what you say, but I would die.
No,
I would love it so much. Somebody give me 5-day tickets to Disney.
It's too long, especially if you are with people like that, because, okay, so this is what happened. We get there. Half of Jonathan's family gets there. And then we go with them. The other half gets there the next day. We go with them. So it's really intense for like 2 days.
Yeah.
And then the next day, half of them leave. And so we go again with just half of them, the other half. And then the last day, just us. So it was like really, really intense. And by the end of it, I'm like, I don't even want to go. I just want to be, hang out.
Wow.
It was really wild. So I think that was the mistake.
Yeah.
If it was 5 days where it was just us and we were just wandering around the whole time, that could be fun. But
yeah, because in that way you have a little bit of freedom to like find this.
you could do
secret things.
anything.
Yeah.
And you're not like rushing to do anything.
Yeah. I want to go on a plaid coat tour sometime. It's like $3,000.
Oh yeah.
Very expensive.
So one of my best friends used to work there as in a plaid vest. And he would very consistently, so like whenever we're there and he's giving a tour or like afterwards, if has some free time, he would always come and just hang out with us. And
I love that.
He would take us, and it's super kind of him. And I would never, like, he's offered before to like get us tickets to Disneyland, and I'm the type of person where I'm like, I can't do that to you because I don't want like our friendship to be based on you getting me tickets somewhere. Like
I get that, but if they're offering,
I know, but there's like something in my head where I'm like, I can't. Get
you don't
myself.
want them to feel like they're used. I get that,
but which is so nice. But like he'll just come and hang out with us, and so like he got us to the front of like Pirates of the Caribbean or Haunted Mansion, and then we just go in and it was during Halloween, so like the line for Haunted Mansion is insane.
I actually feel like a lot of plaid coats do that for their friends. I don't think that's super uncommon.
I think that's true. But I want to be clear that
Safe.
like I'm not like
Yeah. See, and I'm the kind of person that my friends have always, the ones that work there are always like, just come.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, because I'm broke AF, even though I work a shiz ton.
Sure.
My student loans and then my kidney stone medical bills really just haunt me.
Yeah.
So all of my money is always
Welcome
gone.
to America.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
But
Anyways,
yeah, I get
good
that.
Weeks.
That's so, what?
Good weeks.
Good weeks, yes. Good weeks. And then my show opened. And now my show is open. So my show doesn't end until November 4th. And if you're following me, I have posted my show dates. So if you want to come see my show.
I'm not sure if this will be out by then, but maybe. I don't know.
Who
knows what
I mean, I
happens.
would assume we have 2 weeks worth of content that was never made.
That's true.
And this is episode 7 and the next episode is 5, so.
5, 6, 7. Yeah, it'll probably still be going. So yeah, go to the Desert Star. Murray, Sandy-ish area?
Murray, Utah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Almost right next to the hospital.
Okay.
I just realized that we do not have Chat GPT here.
Yeah. Screw that guy.
We're grateful for the time that we spent with you, but we have broken up.
I was going to say, so another thing that I did this week is I watched Schitts Creek again for the first time in a long time.
Oh my gosh.
It was such a good show. One thing I realized that I had never caught, like, I think I had caught, but I had never, like, fully processed, is that, like, how important Twyla as a character is. Because, I don't know if you remember, but in the last season, towards the end, she reveals that she has, like, millions of dollars. Mm-hmm. And so she's, like, the perfect foil to, like, the Roses in the way of, like, they just lost all their money.
Yeah.
She gained all of her money, so they're like crossing in this crazy intersect, and she gained it like right before they got there.
Yeah,
like from what she says, it was like right before the Rosers got there. And if you watch the show like with that knowledge, it's really interesting because she's always like giving them advice or like telling them
anecdotes
life
that
kinda
apply
sucks.
to them.
Yeah, and because she knows,
Mm-hmm.
because she knows what it's like to be broke, and she knows what it's like to be, and in addition to that, she gave half of her money to her mom.
Yeah,
is what she says, and her mom lost it all, so she knows how that feels too. I just didn't realize how like perfect and important of a character she was, and then right at the end when she's like, "Let me buy your stuff," and
then
Alexis
Alexis
is like,
"I can't
"No,
do that to
I
you."
need to like do this myself now." And
which
she,
character growth?
which also Twyla understands that too.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, "Get it, perfect, great, that's awesome."
I love her.
She's not insistent. She's not like weird about anything. She's just like, when I was young, my mom did this and this happened. And it's always funny, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's always in a comedic way, but like knowing that she came from nothing, has a ton of money now, and has seen like how those two dynamics affect you is crazy.
And the humility behind her as well, and wanting to continue working at the diner, and the only difference is that she wants to buy it.
She just loves it, just because she loves the diner, and then she loves it so much that she does buy it because it's the thing that makes her happy.
Yep.
And like really prioritizing her money in that way. I don't know. I just found that so good.
She's the only character that I really cannot stand. No matter, I've watched Schitts Creek probably like 14, 15 times through now. Like I love it so much. I do not like the Bob character. I hate that character.
I think he's there to be terrible the whole time. And I think the reason I think that is because at the end when Gwen finally leaves him and he's just so sad and you're like, I actually don't care.
I don't care at all. Enough. But there have been people that have. Like I follow the Schitts Creek. I follow a lot of things, but there's a Schitts Creek one that I follow and there's multiple posts talking about how much they love Bob. And I'm sitting here like, someone explain to me valid reasons as to why you love this character.
He's like cringe
he's
comedy.
He's icky.
Yeah. This
Especially
is controversial too,
episode.
but it's like Michael Scott for me, where I'm like, I can't watch Michael Scott. I hate him so much.
Yeah.
Can't watch The Office. It's so cringy.
I also have a hard time with The
so
Office.
Hard. And I understand why people watch it, and I'm super happy that you can watch it without crying. But I'm like, I like hear anything that Michael says, and I'm like, ugh. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not super keen on Michael Scott either.
But yeah,
I love Jim and Pam.
Oh yeah.
And there are moments that I think are so funny, but I'm a Parks and Rec girl. For sure.
I'm a Schitts Creek person.
I
think I'd rather watch that show than any of the others. I'm not a sitcom person in general. Yeah.
That's so true.
Hate Friends. I hate I don't know. Almost any sitcom. I don't like it that much. Parks and Rec was funny. I think they found a good balance with Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
But like
the first and last season was disappointing in Parks and Rec. But the seasons in betwixt were good. Okay.
Anyways.
Interesting. I feel like I'm learning so much.
But another thing that I thought about was in Schitts Creek, like coming out stories are like so cool and interesting. And the way that they handle it in Schitts Creek, I think, is
beautiful.
So interesting.
Mm-hmm. That's how it should be.
Because the one thing that I didn't like as I first watched it was like, how come Patrick feels like he's not dimensioned? Like, he's just someone who exists and then they get together, and that's kind of it. And then in the later seasons, they kind of go a lot more into his backstory with like his fiance coming into town. That's when I think it gets really good, and his parents coming.
Sorry,
and
popcorn in my teeth.
All of that I think is really, really interesting. But it made me think, like, you are a person who has a lot of friends who are gay, and have heard a lot of coming out stories.
Yeah.
Probably.
I'm often the first person they tell.
Yeah, and I think that that's really interesting and nice. And I wanted to ask you why you think that is.
Why I'm the first person that they tell, or
both? Like, why do people feel comfortable?
Oh.
Because I think more people should strive for that.
Yeah. I don't.
This is a huge diversion from what we started talking about.
I feel like it kind of goes into what I wanted to bring up too.
Yeah.
Just in regards to like dating, but I'm incredibly honored that I'm the first person that people tell.
And this is not, by the way, I just want to make it clear that like this is something that I am putting on Tana. It's not something that she is like bragging about.
Yeah.
Like you're not the type of person to be like you're not the type of person to be like, all the gays love me.
All the gays love me. Jennifer Coolidge, what did she say in the Christmas gay movie that we love so much?
Oh my gosh.
I don't know why, but the gays just love me.
Single All the Way.
Yeah, Single All the Way. I loved that movie. I hated the one part of that movie that I hated was the weird dancing thing.
There's a few weird parts. It's a Hallmark movie.
On Netflix. Watch it, everybody. You should totally watch it. It's amazing. I think it's because
you've just cultivated something around yourself that has like developed a very good thing for people And not even just gay people, but people who are different
Yeah.
are very comfortable around you.
I think it's because I myself am different. Like, I'm just weird.
That's true.
And it's true. Like, and that's, I don't take that offensively. I don't know. Man, this is like, when I was little, I've always, I've had a really, really loud laugh, and I've always just kind of been that kind of like, person. And you can see what, especially when I'm comfortable around somebody, you see different levels of me, but I'm always constantly like, my thing is like acceptance and love. Mm-hmm. And please do not assume anything about my family and what I'm about to tell you. But we went snowmobiling one year. This will always stay with me. We went snowmobiling, and I was sleeping with my favorite cousin, and she was out cold. Everybody was snoring, but my grandma and grandpa thought everybody was sleeping. And they were in the bed next to us because Lindsay and I really wanted to sleep next to them.
Yeah.
And they were talking about us. And earlier in that day,
you and your cousin?
They were talking about just the family.
Okay.
And early in the day, I'd gotten in trouble for laughing. And they were like, "You're being too loud." And I remember saying, "Why can't you just accept that's my laugh? Like, why can't you just accept that?" And my grandma brought that up to my grandpa, and my grandpa said, "Because you're stinking annoying." And he said that.
Said that to you?
He said that about me. He thought everybody was asleep. And I wasn't asleep. I couldn't sleep because I can't sleep when people snore.
Yeah.
And so as soon as I heard that, I got up and I went and I slept in the TV room, and my dad was watching TV. And I didn't talk to my...
Did they notice?
I think they did.
Mm-hmm.
Because the next day, my grandma was trying really hard, and I looked at her and I was like, "I'm too loud, remember?" And, that haunts me.
Yeah.
And I know that that's not, like, anywhere near what people experience in regards to, like, coming out or that. But I know what it feels like to feel like your family thinks you're annoying or shouldn't be there or doing something that just really annoys them. And so I think that was something for me to be like, I'm going to be that for other people. Like, I might not want to spend a lot of time with you because you might be a lot and you might take a lot of my, my energy.
Same.
But that doesn't mean that I don't love you, and I will still make time for you. Like, if you want to be around me, I will schedule time. But in regards to members of the community, my heart breaks because though I'm pan-romantic, I am heterosexual. So I will, if I ever find a husband, it will be a man. Mm-hmm. And that's normal for people. But it's not for, well, it hopefully is going to continue to becoming like a normal thing. But I also feel so much love from that community. Like the first Pride that I went to after, like, ever, was after I came home from my mission, and I went with my really good friend Zach, who's lovely. Mm-hmm. I went with him in 2019, and I actually felt more.
Wait, was that when I came?
Or no, I went in 2018.
Okay, I was like,
it was after Mermaid.
Sure.
It was after Mermaid.
Yeah, so it was the year before.
Yes, because we went in 2019.
Yeah.
And I had been home from my mission at that point for 3.5 years, mm-hmm. and I had not felt the same love. I had not really felt the kind of love that I had felt on my mission until I went to Pride. And it just more solidified for me how much I just love the community. But I love just this concept of accepting people for who they are. And so I think that's why people come out to me or gravitate towards. I even have an employee that actually just recently came out to me, and he was like shaking and so scared to tell his boss. Yeah. And I was like, you don't have to, like, you feel your feelings, please do. But, oh no, I hit the microphone. Oh crap, okay. I just messed it up.
It'll never be the same again.
Oh crap.
I'm just kidding.
Actually, that's true. But I will reiterate this. I said this a couple episodes ago. I will love you for who you are yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Like, I always will. That's just how I am, because I go back to, I think about that a lot. Like those moments of like, you're being too loud, or mm-hmm. you're too much, or you're too fat, you don't fit this. Like I I've experienced it, and so I don't want other people that I come in contact with to feel that from me. So I think that's why.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I've been curious about that because, or what your perception of that is, I guess, because like you have to know that like people probably more than other people come to you who are members of the community. And I was just wondering what your thoughts were of that and why that is. I think a lot of it too is like there's a genuineness that exists in you that is especially in Utah. We exist in a place that is very entrenched in shame culture. And sexuality is very much linked to that, gay or straight.
Yep.
The only problem with being gay in this culture where we are is that you can never express that side of you.
Yeah.
And still be in good standing with this society, with this culture. So here it's such you have like you exude such a genuine non-judgmental like thing, and I think no offense, I think it's true what you said of being weird. is you being genuine, because here that's not normal.
Yeah.
There's not like
people are too afraid of it to be who they actually are,
or to be silly or goofy. People are always trying to be protective or put on a mask, and here that's so tangible. So like to see someone that's so different, I think is like very unique and nice.
You're very kind.
And I think that is a huge part of it too.
Do you remember the guy that I matched with almost 3 years ago on Sarah's birthday on August 30th? We have been on and off for the like just chatting, like, and maybe gone on like a total of 5 dates. But anyways, he messaged me on Thursday and he was like, "Hey, do you want to get together?" And I was like, "Sure," because in January I messaged him and I was like, "I continue thinking about you, and the only reason I can think that is because you're supposed to be in my life in some way, shape, or form, and I feel maybe it's because we're supposed to be together."
Okay.
Or whatever, like at least try. And he was like, "Let's do it." And so I was trying, like I kept trying to be like, "Hey, when are you available?" And I got to the point where I was just leaving the ball in his court.
Yeah.
And so I was like, well, okay, he's not trying. And so I just kind of moved on, right? And then he texted me on Thursday and he was like, "Do you want to get together?" And I was like, "Sure, yeah." And I was fully planning on getting together with him and with love, being like,
so this is not
this
great.
is if we do this, I need you to put in effort too, because I'm incredibly busy. I work 2 full-time jobs now, like, and I'm finally being paid for that, right?
Yeah.
Whereas before I was working 2 full-time jobs and not.
Yeah.
Plus my part-time job and my performing. So like I'm just busy. If I'm going to make effort, I want there to be effort returned.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to match the energy. And so I was planning on talking to him about that. But on the way here to this room, I got a text message from him. Yeah. And he was basically like, "I'm really sorry. I realized that I am not in a good place to date." He goes, "And I was thinking about it, like, I'm sorry for wasting your time, but I reached out to you because there's just something about you that I don't see in a lot of people." And I was like, to be completely honest, I feel like you haven't tried, and I really liked you. But more than anything, I just want you to know that, like, I'm your friend. Like, if you need that, like, if we don't date, cool, I don't care. At this point, it's been 3 years and you haven't really
no effort
put much effort into it. Like, he's come and he's done, I will say he has put effort in. Like, the first like big hangout was a bunch of gays and then me and him. And we played games and it was fun, but he never made me laugh, which is a huge thing. Like, I want to be able to laugh. Like, he made me laugh, nervous laugh, but it wasn't like the cackle that you guys hear when Jace makes me laugh, right? And I want to have that kind of thing with a romantic partner. And at the same time, I'm like, well, we've only in the last 3 years got together a total of 5 times, and 3 of those were alone and not really had an opportunity to like laugh.
Yeah.
And so I'm just kind of like, that's really kind of you. He actually, sorry, I hit the microphone. He paid me a compliment that I don't remember the word he used, but I was like, whoa. I had to look it up because I was like, I've never heard that word before, but it was essentially how he described me of like unabashedly loving. Mm-hmm. And I was like, well, I'm glad that you feel that. And I'm glad that you felt that. And that's what keeps having, like, bringing you back to me. But like maybe figure your stuff out before you reach out. Cause like I am looking for my partner. Like I'm 33 now and I'm like genuinely ready for that. Mm-hmm. And now this is the 3rd person in the last 8 months that I've kind of maybe could have something with. Like the first one was, and I was super excited about that because we had an incredible first date. Like best date I've ever been on.
Yeah.
Truly, genuinely. And then that crashed and burned because of choices that were not in my control.
Sure.
And then the whole situation. And now this, and I'm like, I was kind of excited because I was like, I know he has a very subdued personality, but I've also been told that opposites attract. And I thought maybe this could work out with Steve, but I think taking that, and now this 3-year chapter being closed is like, at least he felt something that he can look for
and
like
take with him.
Yeah.
And be like, yeah, I think, because even with you in these 3 people that you were discussing have felt something, and you've taken away something from each of those experiences.
Yeah.
Of like, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I like.
Yeah.
I liked doing this. I liked having this.
Yeah. At least with the first 2, I laughed. Like they made me laugh more than the others.
Yeah.
But
he's a funny guy.
He's way funny. But yeah. Okay. Thank you for your compliments, though. That's really nice. I appreciate it. Happy birthday to me.
Happy birthday. I was just thinking about coming out stories and things like that.
Yeah. Do you feel comfortable to share yours?
Yeah, I think so.
Because I've not really heard a lot of it. Like I know some, but not a lot.
Okay. For me, I think I'm a person of extremes in general.
Mm-hmm. I think that's why we get along, because I myself am the same.
Yeah. But maybe emotionally for me, mm-hmm. Whereas you, it's like everything.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I think I present very subdued often, but emotionally I'm a person of extremes.
Yeah.
So like when I'm ready for something, I'm ready for it.
Yeah.
And so like, so I went to BYU,
mm-hmm.
which is, if you don't know, a Mormon school, mm-hmm. Mormon-run private school, for college. And at BYU, it was like fresh off a mission, so like very religious, very like ready to like go get married, right? People always make jokes about BYU, like if you don't get married at BYU, you're never gonna get married.
Accurate.
Because that's why everyone's there, which is not a great mindset for school. Right. If you, especially as a gay person in a religion like Mormonism.
Yeah.
So at BYU, I entered the film program, and the film program is a lot more liberal than other parts of BYU.
Yeah.
People are more open. There were very more openly gay people there. There were people that like I just would have met for the first time there, if that makes sense. Like from different walks of life.
Mm-hmm.
Because I grew up in Plain City, Utah, which is exactly what it sounds like.
I have such good memories of Plain City, though.
Middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
More animals than people. That kind of place.
Which is probably another reason why I love it. He went to school with my cousins.
Yeah.
That's like, Jason's kind of technically always been a part of my life in a weird way.
We found that out a little bit later. I don't know why I never put that together until like I think you asked me once, do you know this person? And I was like, yeah. And then I was like, oh, wait, you have the same last name.
We're related. And it's not a common last name either. So.
Right. But yeah. So yeah, BYU, I started like, Plain City is not diverse. There's nothing.
Yeah.
I am the first person who is gay in my dad's family. There's zero other people
Who have so
who
let
have
me,
come out.
okay, I was gonna say, like, do you think there's closeted?
I don't know. I think I personally am not comfortable trying to make assumptions.
Sure.
Because if people want, like, I'm not going to tell people how to live their lives. If they're going to try to not ever come out, I'm not going to say, just come out.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that. So no one else has come out in my dad's family. So I would be the first one. So in Plain City.
Your mom's family?
My mom's family, I do have one aunt who's a lesbian.
Right on.
But even she didn't come out until like,
much later.
Much later.
Yeah.
So, yeah, not a lot of exposure. And so at BYU, you first start to meet just different people in general, especially in a liberal arts program. And so like at BYU, things just got more and more difficult there as like I tried dating or like tried getting in relationships. I think I kissed like one girl, and then I was like,
not for me.
Not
for me.
and then like later we were like, oh, should we start dating? And then I was like, yeah, I guess. And then later that night I had a panic attack and texted her, and I was like, no, just kidding. So sad.
I'm not laughing at the situation. I'm just it's comical.
Yeah, it is funny. No, it's very funny.
In the moment, probably sucked royal hippogriff, but
it was like just emotionally very taxing.
Yeah.
To be in that environment where like even if I wanted to express something, I would be kicked out of school.
Right.
And
because it's against the honor code.
Because it's against the honor code. Even more so now, where they explicitly say even like same-sex romantic behavior is not allowed.
They changed their policy.
They did. They have.
What the?
So as of even like a couple weeks ago, that's how they changed it. So.
Okay.
So I went through all of that, and then after BYU, I kind of came to the realization that like I need something to like clear my head a little bit. I moved to Australia.
This is what I know. Australia.
So I moved to Australia and didn't go well. I loved Australia, and I love the people that I met there. But I was still like going to church and like trying to like iron things out. Australia has very attractive people there. Yeah, so I was like, yeah, that'll be fun. Very long story short, I ended up in a hospital for a little bit. And that's when I was like, okay, I need to come home. Because the plan was to like maybe live there. But after that happened, I was like, I need to come home and I need to just like iron my life out. So I came home, started working a lot. I was doing freelance film stuff. So I was working on TV shows and movies a ton. And again, in the film world, like there's a lot of diversity, a lot of different people, and a lot of very openly gay people who were so kind and wonderful. And I think I was living in a situation where it would not have been okay if I had come out. But I remember the night that I switched my like Bumble or Tinder or whatever to both genders. And when you do that, very quickly you realize, oh, I'm only swiping on men. And so I'm like, I just need to do this.
Yeah.
So I went on like maybe a date while I still lived there.
Is this with our mutual friend? Or an Aussie? Was this after you came home?
Yeah, after I came home.
Okay. Where were you living before you moved into...
I was living in a little house in Orem.
Okay.
So with some very like conservative people.
Okay.
I kind of came out to one of my roommates who was very nice. And I felt guilty because he wanted to be friends after, but I was just not in a headspace, and I was like still very scared.
Are you friends with him now?
No. I don't talk to him at all. So then I moved in with our friend, Lauren. And it was funny because I moved in. That night she was dating someone. I won't say who. But so they were together like on a couch and we were watching a movie. And I was like sitting on the couch like scrolling on Bumble. And dudes.
Mm-hmm.
And after the guy had left, I can't remember what she said, but she was like I can't remember what happened exactly because like part of it is very nervous about everything.
Yeah. And also concussion brain.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a concussion brain. I can't remember exactly what she said, but she's like, what are you like? I think she made a joke while the other dude was there. And she's like, you like scrolling with dudes or something? And I was like, huh? And then he left.
Ha!
And then later I was like, so just so you know, like I was. And Lauren was like one of the first people that I had come out to.
Yeah.
Maybe even the first.
She's great too, though.
She's wonderful.
She's a really good safe
and
space.
I had just moved in with her and I knew that it would be okay there. Like I knew that I would be okay there.
I love her so much.
And I think she just started laughing. She was like, of course. And she's like, I can't believe, like, everyone, I can't believe, like, she just, Lauren.
Went on her rant, yeah.
Lauren, she
I love
went
it.
on her rant. And then she's like, obviously it's okay, but, like, how does this always happen? I don't know. It was just very funny.
How's this always happen that, like, you're a hot dude? And...
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But something, and I don't know what the exact thing was. But it was very
Okay,
funny.
but that's a fair question. Always, the men that women tend to gravitate towards do not play on our team. And we're always like...
But no, she's like, of course it's okay. And from there, like, very supportive of, like, when I would go on dates and stuff.
Uh-huh.
So very slowly, I think I even took Tess and Babette out to dinner once and was like, just so you know. And I think I was having a hard time bringing it up, and Babette was like, Lauren already told us. Which you can't, like, don't come out for people. But I was like, in this situation where it's two very close friends who I knew really well, I was like, fine, that's great.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. And then I was like, okay, great. And then we just had dinner. For my parents, it was tricky because I had been dating for about 6 months before I told them.
Yeah.
And not because... I think people have a misconception of, like, gay people don't tell people because it's uncomfortable. It's not, like, necessarily, and this is my story, like, not...
This is
true
not
for everyone.
projecting on anybody else.
People are genuinely unsafe in their families, and that is a totally different thing.
Yeah.
It was not because I thought my parents were going to, like, hurt me or, like, cut me off.
Mm-hmm.
It's just...
It's a vulnerable thing.
It's a vulnerable thing with a mental block. And when you come, I think, from the society that we come from, again, there's a lot of shame associated even with emotions and, again, with sex. So there's a lot of questions. I think a big part of it is that there's a lot of questions that come up after you come out.
Yeah.
Are you still going to go to church? Are you still going to try to be whatever? Are you having sex? Are you... like,
Are you still going to live the standards?
Are you keeping the word of wisdom? Like,
Yeah.
there's a ton of stuff that just comes with that.
Yeah.
And I think that to me was more uncomfortable than, like, and again, just my thing. That was like the more difficult conversation than just coming out.
Yeah.
Because I think there are things that your parents, like, find or notice that they're like, oh, maybe, like porn.
Sure.
I think that's the thing that every parent just finds because.
Mm-hmm.
As children, we don't know how to cover it up. So, like, yeah, coming out to my parents, I was just like, just so you know. And this is when I was in, like, kind of a relationship. This is before Jonathan.
Yeah.
And I was like, I have to tell them. And so it was just, like, a really hard time when I'm like, and
how did they react?
I love my father so much.
Yeah.
My dad is the epitome of someone who's charitable and kind.
Yeah.
We're going way over. I'm so sorry.
I'm here for the long run.
I'm just worried that this episode is going to be 1,000 years long. I'm so sorry.
Don't apologize. We have people watch the whole episode.
It's wild.
Or listen to the whole episode.
Sure. So my mom definitely tried to take the forefront where she's like, are you happy great. And that was kind of her thing. And my mom's always been a little bit more, I think, liberal.
Open.
I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's typical, probably. Like, the dad is the one that people are generally afraid of. Because, like, I think
Stereotypes.
masculinity, and you have, like, a thing in your head about what your dad wants you to be. I think
Stereotypes.
that's just a thing, yeah. And I'll never forget something that my dad said, which was heartbreaking for me at the time. And again, epitome of charity, like, and now would never say this.
Yeah.
But I think you have a gut reaction that you say, and that's how it is. And I'll also say that my brother's relationship is, like, strong, but, like, very much because of him getting married, no longer sees my parents hardly ever.
Oh.
Because of my sister-in-law. So I think he was thinking a lot about that too, and I don't think it was just directed at me. But I think he said, growing up, like, you just have a certain expectation of your life and your family, and it's really hard when your life doesn't meet that expectation. And as someone, like, who's trying to be vulnerable and come out to that, that's, like, so heartbreaking of, like...
Cool, I'm a letdown.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And not only that, but, like, this is, like, the most comfortable I've ever been.
Yeah.
And this is the most genuine I've ever been able to be. And that is not what your expectations were. Like, me being happy was not in your expectations because it was not in the way that you wanted me to be. And so that was, like, probably, I think that was truly, and I'm so lucky for this, the most difficult part of my coming out process.
Yeah.
And I'm so lucky for that because I know that people get thrown out. I'm fortunate because I've been living away from my parents since I was 19. So, like, I've always been on my own anyways, doing my own thing.
Yeah.
And I'm also very lucky because I got through school by working and paying off. I didn't have debts because BYU is very cheap. Mm-hmm. So I'm grateful for that. And so I didn't, like, need them.
Sure.
I'm obviously, like, emotionally
You
want them.
Your parents, yeah.
But I didn't need them. So I think because of that, I was able to, like, be a little bit more detached from that. And again, my situation, I'm very grateful for. I know people have, like, way worse circumstances.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's, like, the whole story basically. From there, it's like, it's kind of it. From there, I was in a couple, like, kind of relationships. Mm-hmm. You remember Jordan?
Yeah.
There's a guy that I dated who Lauren always referred to as Daddy Warbucks because he was, and also bald.
Yeah.
Listen, which is funny.
Date for money, not learn to love.
I hope he doesn't watch this. He was very nice. Everyone that I dated was so nice. That's the other thing that I'm so grateful for too, is that I never I had a couple bad experiences, but, like, none of them were, like, terrible.
Yeah.
And even when I was broken up with or whatever, it was, like, not terrible.
Because, well, also there's that factor of, like, yeah, I knew that this is not the relationship. Like, this is not the end all be all for me.
Yeah.
Like, you just subconsciously know that.
I don't know. There was one that I was like, oh, that sucks. Sure. But I think also, like, feeling that you missed a big chunk of your dating life and, like, and not starting dating until you're 25.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't get my high school moments and things like that, really.
Me either.
Yeah. So there's a portion of that where you're like, this is still an experiment. And I think having and maintaining that mindset, especially right after you come out, is really important.
Yeah. Because
everyone's experimenting. Even the toxic gays who are terrible to you, obviously get out of a horrible relationship. But they too are, like, just experimenting.
Yeah.
They didn't start dating. Even the people that were so accepting probably didn't start dating until after high school.
Probably not.
So they're still in that, like, process, which is crazy. Dating in general is
trash.
And so like, doing it later is hard as an adult, which,
it is very hard. And it's disappointing a lot of the times because it's
Yeah.
like
Because
it
everyone's
feels like, am I not good enough for you?
and also like when you're starting to date, when you date earlier in life, your goals start to meld together a little bit more already, and you do that later as you date more and like whatever. But it's hard because as an adult, your goals are set,
Yeah.
and it's hard to like.
Compromise.
Yeah, it's so much harder as an adult because you're headed in a direction, and it's so hard to alter that direction because you've established yourself somewhere.
And it's really frustrating when you're willing to do that, and then people are like, "Eh." You're like, but it also like you have the factor of being gay, and there's that struggle there, right? Like because even I'm watching my sweet roommate Tyler go through this, and he's constantly being judged by what he looks like. And the same thing for myself. I know that there are people out there who are attracted to plus size individuals, but it's usually a fat fetish, and it's not like a genuine
to be fetishized over
instead of like genuinely
weird.
Attracted. And like
especially as an adult, because then they're like, send me nudes.
Yeah.
It's not about
anything
dating.
like,
it's just
I don't want to get to know you.
I
as a
want
person.
sexual gratification.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, like being attracted or having people attracted to you is flattering.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it
makes you feel good, but it only goes so far.
Yeah. It's like I'm worth more than just that. And then there are moments where I'm like, dude, I look good. Like in my costume for my current show, I've never felt more like not like
hot.
but I've never felt that. Like I've in any of the shows I've ever been in, I'm like, oh, I like what I look like.
Yeah.
This one, I'm like,
you look hot.
I'm like, I'm here for it. And I'm like, dude, get yourself somebody who can,
to be clear,
relatively pull off a troll look.
You look hot.
In Cruella?
No, always.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you.
I still think about that day when you came in your like swimsuit outfit, and you were like, "Ha, this is a swimsuit." I'm like,
that's the swimsuit I wear under my. I'm wearing it as like a leotard.
You look great. All the time.
So nice. But I mean, you're gay. That's the one downside is like the people who think I look good are either women or gay men. But I still look good. I'm not saying I don't, but that's the frustrating thing is like sometimes plus size people can't lose the weight because of like also, PCOS, and you're still judged for that.
You know what's frustrating too? Of like people get mad at people for being fat.
Yeah.
They're like, what are we gonna do? Okay, I'll go to the gym, and then you get made fun of for going to the gym as a fat person. Mm-hmm. And then like you lose,
and sometimes going to the
weight.
gym doesn't actually do anything.
Yeah.
You can. For me personally, I've done the whole thing. I don't do fad diets because I know they don't work. Like you will gain the weight back and then some.
Absolutely.
At some point. But I've tried to change the way that I eat, like more fruits and veggies and less red meat.
Look at like Lizzo.
Yeah.
Who
fit AF.
Controversial person right now.
Yeah, she is controversial.
Which I'm not like.
But we're talking about her health.
I'm not talking about her lifestyle. I'm just talking about her.
Yeah.
But she is vegan.
Yep.
Eats lots of fruits and vegetables. Mm-hmm. Doesn't eat meat. So not a lot of fats. And dances every night. And she's still
a plus size individual.
Yeah. So like, what do you want us to do?
Yeah.
And then even in like, I think a very frustrating part about the gay community sometimes is even when a man like loses a lot of weight, you have a lot of extra skin, and to get that surgery is very expensive.
Yeah.
So like,
and then you're judged for being saggy.
Judged for being saggy.
Yep.
So like, it's like we've already lost.
Can't you just I ask this all the time, but why can't people just be kind?
Why can't people mind their own business?
That too, but like also, if you're not gonna mind your own business, at least be kind. If you're gonna do what you're doing, and making awful comments about people, why don't you open yourself up a little bit to be like, well, why are you this way? Let me learn a little bit.
Yeah. And like
people are trash. Sorry, like I believe in love. Like I not like romantic. Well, I do for other people. It has never worked out for me, but I believe in perpetuating love. For me personally, that's come from cultivating a relationship with the Savior, with Jesus Christ, and what He stands for. You might not believe in it, but for me, I'm like, the version of Christ that's in my head is someone who loves no matter what.
A genuine unconditional.
Very much like a dog. Loves you unconditionally.
Jesus is a dog.
There's a reason why it's spelled backwards.
Have you seen those, the like stickers or memes or whatever that are like God is a woman?
Yes, I have.
It's God as a dog.
We're not, I don't know.
I'll blaspheme.
I don't know. But for me, I just feel better about, you live your own life.
Yeah.
You're going to live, but for me, I'm going to continue to do what I believe, which is to just love people.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not perfect at it. There are people that really, really bug me. Like, really bug me. And I just choose not to spend time with you.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to blatantly be a
I think that's the overall takeaway from the episode is like,
don't be a
be a
and
but yeah.
be willing to accept yourself as you are. You're here and you have good, you have worth.
Yeah, I think we lose a lot of time thinking about tomorrow.
Yeah, just live. I mean, you should probably plan things, but like.
But
enjoy
I mean in the sense
right
of
now.
like, oh, like when I lose 20 pounds.
Yeah.
Or oh, when I can
fit into these jeans.
when I find someone who loves me.
Yeah.
Or oh, when I whatever. It's like so much more fulfilling to be present every day. Wow.
That was good.
Life's laugh track. So funny.
But life is, you laugh at it, right? But you also have some serious... life's laugh track, life's track. There's just, it's all encompassing. Sometimes you have to laugh through all the really hard things too.
Absolutely.
So,
I think that's...
And we're very good at that because we have been slapped a lot in our life. But yeah. Cinderella says it best. Good. You must always have courage and be kind.
Yeah. That's a good way to
that's
wrap it
what
up.
I put in all of my bios and my playbills. And I'm going to show.
That's really nice.
And on that note, if you want to follow us on the thingies, it's Life's Laugh Track.
Or is it Laugh Track with J&T? Right?
I thought it was on all the episodes that I've watched. It's Life's Laugh Track with J&T.
Great. I hope it's that.
Yeah, this stuff will be at the end of the episode, but subscribe, share this with your friends. Please send us emails. We would love to hear from you guys and like actually start responding.
Yeah.
Instead of just talking to us in person, which please continue to talk to us in person. But like, send us some stuff. You can DM us. You can email us.
Yeah.
And follow us on individual thingies.
It's Jace Van M.
Jace Van M. And Tenanigans, as well as You're the Onesie I Want. And I'm Tenanigans.
I'm really tired.
Have courage and be kind.